Hello, I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man, and I'm with Stephen Taylor Heath. Stephen is our head of sport at JMW Solicitors and has led the team at JMW who have recently represented Frank Warren's Queensberry Promotions in what is, I think, probably the biggest fight of our time, Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. Hello, Stephen.
Good afternoon, Dominic.
So what unique challenges have you faced in getting this fight together?
Well, obviously, personally, I've been involved in boxing promotion matters for almost 25 years, and this is obviously the largest event that I've been personally involved with. A boxing promotion of this nature, the commercial arrangements and agreements that need to be put in place are not the type that you just download from PLC precedents or something like that. You need to have had quite a bit of experience in relation to large-scale sporting events, and particularly in the boxing arena, given the unique challenges of staging a large-scale boxing promotion, to be able to deal with this type of matter. What I would say is that another unique aspect of this is that there was a three-stage process in terms of the negotiations in order to get to where we got to. Firstly, there were discussions between the lawyers for parties representing Tyson Fury. Then those lawyers had to group together in relation to negotiations with the lawyers for Anthony Joshua and Matchroom. Then once you had those agreements in place, you then effectively have the core of promoters in their negotiations in relation to third parties, in relation to the actual staging of the event itself. So on one hand, you're dealing with lawyers on the other side, and then on the other hand, you're subsequently on the same side negotiating the contracts. And obviously, the negotiations at that level are quite high level, involving a multi-international event with some substantial agreements needing to be put in place.
And so then you're arranging all of this. We're getting set for the big fight, and then the Deontay Wilder arbitration decision comes from the US, and presumably makes things a little bit more complex.
Well, obviously that decision was taken by an arbitrator in proceedings in the United States, which we were aware of, and everybody has said that everybody was aware of it. We weren't dealing with that ourselves. It was been dealt with by US attorneys. But clearly it did have an impact as rulings by some of the governing bodies, such as the WBO. So you have to respect those rulings. The governing bodies run the World Championships. The arbitrator, obviously, his decision has to be respected. So you therefore have Tyson Fury facing Deontay Wilder in the short period. You have Joshua potentially defending his WBO title. If they come through that, then obviously then we can reorganize the event, and obviously circumstances might be rather different in terms of COVID compliance.
So, Stephen, you mentioned these sorts of contracts aren't standard contracts, and I know you've got a lot of experience at negotiating sort of sports contracts. What sort of advice would you give to promoters, whether they're sports promoters or maybe music promoters looking to put events on as well?
Well, a year ago, we were in a different place because we were being contacted by people wanting to know if they could cancel events or postpone events, and looking at the contracts and force majeure and frustration and aspects like that. Now we're in a different place. We're coming out of the restrictions, and so people are now wanting to put events on. They may have circumstances where somebody wants somebody to be bound by their commitment to put an event on, but they're saying the world's changed in a year and I don't have that obligation. So if you need advice on these type of matters, then we're the people to come to. It's relevant to Wilder against Fury and the knock-on effect on various contracts. It could be relevant to your event as well. We're in the right place to advise on these matters. We've got a very strong regulatory team as well as lawyers across the spectrum, and so we can advise on such matters.
Thank you very much for your time, Stephen. And you don't get bigger than that, do you? Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua. If you'd like to contact Stephen, you can do so via me, insideman@jmw.co.uk, or you can call me on 0161 82 81 999. I'm Dominic Walker, JMW's Inside Man.